On this episode of Magic Customs, we get back on our chassis swap, putting together a Mercury Marquis and a 73 International 1210. Yup, it's the truck that almost burned to the ground. We're saving it, we're moving forward, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back working on the International Mercruiser Intermerc chassis swap that lit on fire. It does still run. The blower motor still works. I don't know why. I don't know how it works. But we need to make some progress on this. We need to be full steam ahead, and we need to get this cab attached to this floor plate and firewall. That's our goal. We need to get this seat out of here. Fine, easy, it's not attached. And then this entire dash got to come out. But I had a thought. What if I couldn't take the dash out? What if it was already all welded and I can't get the dash out, you know? I don't know where the bolts are, but we'll find them all. I'll time-lapse all that so you guys don't have to watch that. That stuff's boring. But I thought to myself, I'd really love to look in the dash. And I think we're going to do that. So Teslong sent me a Boroscope to look into that Chevy 350. You can't see it. It's on the stand way over there. I'll zoom in. That is going to go into another project vehicle that we have set aside. You'll see that later. But I wanted to look in the motor, so I'm like, I really need a Borescope. And then Teslong was like, hey, we have Borescopes. And I said, yeah, I need a Borescope. But what if we use the Borescope and I go into the dash with it and see, like, how bad is it? Do I need to pull the whole thing? I mean, I think I'm going to have to pull it anyway. But articulating Borescope, part number TD450S. See the solution. Oh, the head moves on it. It says you can use it for auto care. This is kind of like auto care. Let's get this hog out. All right, so this thing has like a knob on it, and you can, look at that, you can drive it. So technically it goes, quote, up and down, or side to side. That's awesome. You can turn the brightness up, resolution. Okay, wow. Got magnification turn up. Now we have this. See, there's me. Right? We can go into the dash. That is the wiring harness. I mean, everything looked okay over there. There is a lot of powder. Let me see if I can steer this thing. No, I'm gonna go that way. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Steering. Is that melted? Oh boy. Yeah, that's the tube that lit on fire right there. See down there. Well, the problem with this is there's powder all over everything. I don't see anything terribly burnt with this thing. Like, the tube we know is burnt. I get that. Oh, what about that actuator? Can I get to that? Let me see if I can get in there. Oh, I can. Wow. Oh my God, there's so much. Look at all of the... Can you guys see all of the powder? I'm sorry you guys are getting a little reflection from my lights, but there is literal fire extinguisher on everything. So this confirms a minimum. The Boroscope confirms that even if we didn't want to, we have to take the dash out and we have to wipe it and vacuum it and wipe it all down. This thing is actually, it's a lot clearer than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot clearer. I know you guys are getting my reflection from my lights, but I mean, I'm seeing it clear as day, like really good. Look at all that in there, man. How do I get you out of my lights? Oh, like that. Look at the screen, how clear it is. This is going to be great for engines. Love it. All right. Well, guys, the Teslong Boroscope. I mean, right now, 10 out of 10. That's awesome. Cool. I'll have a link for it if you want it. Very impressive. We're going to use it a lot because I can't believe how clear the screen is on it. That's really amazing. So this verifies that we're taking the dash out. I mean, we knew it anyway, but let's rip this dash out, rip the seat out, and let's see what's going on behind here, and let's see, can we get this welded up? I want this stuff done hopefully this weekend. Status update. You got to pull quite a bit to get this thing out. I mean, it's pretty involved. It's not terrible. You got to drop the steering column, but I mean, look at all this fire extinguisher. Pretty bad. That right there is really what was melting. It looks like it's the glove box or the heater box diverter. I'll have to look at that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that's a pain in the ass. This is what we're left with now. The good part of this is, if I had done this from the beginning, I could have just pushed this forward, and I think I could just make a filler piece right here, and then drape a welding blanket. Not that there's that much left to light on fire, maybe just the insulating, but I mean, this stuff should be, you know, somewhat heat resistant. All right, before we do anything, clean this thing up, do anything, I got this cab exactly where I want it. So all I did was just cut a couple little pieces of scrap, and I'm gonna tack it down to the floor plate here and blast a couple stitches here. And then we're gonna put a couple pieces right in here. Obviously that one's just hanging out, but we're gonna put it in there. That way, if we bump the cab while we're trying to move it or we're trying to make pieces, it's not going to shift around. So we're going to fire up, let's see, what are we going to use today? We're going to use a Simder today. This SD4050Pro. This thing does plasma cutting, TIG welding with a high frequency start. The plasma cutter has a pilot arc. It does MIG. It does aluminum with a spool gun. I mean, it's pretty much like, if you could buy one garage machine that does everything, this thing does everything. With the exception of AC TIG welding, it does literally everything else. It even does pulse MIG. It does everything. It's quite an amazing unit. That's pretty solid. So I got it stuck down over there. I got one stuck in there. You saw me do this one. So now we just got to get one in here. I want it just to tuck in. I want to be able to put sheet metal on the inside of it, so I don't want it to protrude out. Really just back bracing it. Yeah, that should do. So I'm just using ram board. You can get it like Home Depot, right? It's kind of pricey for templates, but it gives you enough room so you don't have to like tape like beer boxes or cardboard together. Anything works though. Anything that you can kind of stick up there and, you know, run your finger against it, rub a screwdriver, handle against so you can make an indentation. I have a tendency to use Sharpies, and I kind of just go behind. So, I mean, this is kind of like what I'm thinking. So this will come down all the way to the bottom. And all I got to do is put this on a piece of that, trace it, cut it out. Keeping with simplicity. There's no sense in making this fancy because no one's going to see it. So underneath your fenders, why get fancy? We're going to go basically a straight piece here, all the way down. We're going to make it 5.5 inches, and then we're going to bend it out 1 inch, right? So, and we're going to go 26 inches, so we have a little bit left under here that we can kind of curl under, and we can tack it in. So, basically 26 up and down by 5.5 by 1, so we'll do it 6 3/4 to add a 1/4 inch in case there's like sheet metal math. I'm not really good at that. I'm sure there's like a way to figure out exactly what the break, you know, takes up in the curve, but it doesn't have to be that exact for this. This is, you know, so we're just kind of seat of our pants. You know, what did the seat of our pants do before? It was a fire. And guys, when you're cutting stuff like this, you can absolutely use, I mean, you could use a Sawzall, it would get messy. You can use a death wheel, so wear safety glasses. Or you can pick up one of these shears, sheet metal shear. They make these in all kinds of different flavors. They make one that's like a nibbler. They make one that's like this, it's like a jaw. I think I paid, I think it was under $40. It wasn't bad. So if you're doing straight cuts, and it will cut curves kinda, you just gotta, you know, at the end of it, it kind of does a little burp, you know, you just tap it out and it's fine. So it's cleaner and faster than using a death wheel, and it's technically safer because you're not going to blow one into down your gullet. Back over to my heavily modified Harbor Freight 36-inch brake. There's a video on this. I know a lot of you guys have already seen it. Hey, watch it again. I don't know. So we're just going to throw a little bit of a whoop into this thing, and probably not. A little bit more. This is hard to manipulate with one hand. There we go. That looks like 90 to me. What do you guys think? Floor's not even. You can never tell. Oh, it's way over 90. Man, we really screwed the pooch on that one. Who says that? I just saw a comedian, he's like doing a whole bit on screw the pooch. What the hell does that even mean? Why would anyone even say that? Alright, let's see how it fits. So basically this, right? A couple tech screws in it to hold it in place while we kind of bang this around underneath. We still got a form over here. And then we're going to have to tie a piece in to this. I might just cut this off and go directly in. But now that it's screwed in, and obviously if you can weld the sides, you can weld the holes in. You can kind of tap it with a hammer and kind of give it shape where it needs it. You know, just tap it in on the bottom here, hold something against it and give it a whack. And like I said, that's all. The fender is basically outside here. You know what I mean? The whole fender's outside. You can't see any of that. So ultimately, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, nothing much to see here, just like the other side. Kind of beat it on the bottom, just beat it up and in. And gonna trim a little bit, a little wide here. Probably just trim that out so it's nice and flat. I like using the tech screws because I can literally put it back in the exact place it is. And that way we can, you know, we can mark it with a marker, clean it all up. Don't go crazy. We're taking off paint we don't need to take off. So this is basically the piece that we made the template for. I screwed it in because I think it would be easier. I can just take the flap wheel and run it right down, and it will literally fit exactly. It's loose on the bottom because there's nothing to screw it to. But that's going to fit nice, and then we're going to butt a piece right here. So then we'll just one over the top, and then we'll tie it into the piece we're going to do here. Actually, I might make that go all the way over, like to that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll put a little finger on it right here, and that way I can just put a piece on the top. And that way we're sealing it all up, you know? There's still the, you know, out the diagonal here. I mean, obviously we got a little rot to fix, but we put a piece on here, you know, right there. And seal the bottom. All right, so what I did was I basically just put the cardboard. Actually, this was the template we used for the underside, but it still has the same shape. You gotta cut a little bit on the top, but I basically just drove my finger into it to kind of make indentations so we'll know. The only concern here is where the dashboard has 3 screws in the front. They have to be there or this thing will be loose. So we have to cut out, make provisions for that, but that shouldn't be bad. So I'm gonna cut this, set it in there, see how it goes. Maybe it'll fit, and then we'll have to just make some pieces on the outside. I don't even know if I can make this all in one piece because of the curve. We'll have to try. We'll try it. All right, that's what I came up with. A little bit of trimming. Got to add in some areas, but that'll do it for just this piece, and then I think I'm gonna make the corners separate. Trying to weld it, I'm not trying to weld it right here. I'm trying to weld it just to the underside of this lip. I don't even know if you guys can see that there's a lip there. It's very small. So I'm gonna try to butt it. I got it in there, but I'm gonna try to butt it to the lip like that and just tack it and just keep tacking. It has taken me way longer than I ever thought it would to make this simple little piece. I think it's because there's 2 radiuses, and it's basically just me kind of putting it up there, running a marker down where I gotta grind with the grinder, grind it, bring it back, grind it, bring it back. I don't want to show you guys that nonsense, but this is basically what we came up with. You know, there's a couple gaps here and there, but we're gonna hit it with seam sealer when we're done anyway. That's pretty damn good for what I've been working with. We're making pieces so we know what fits where, and we can cut all that out one piece. A couple pieces here. It's going to wrap around. We're going to weld it up. We'll obviously make it look better than that when it's welded. Too far. That's okay. How much is 18 gauge? Not a lot. Not a little. Definitely not free. I mean, it's kinda. Gonna need some magnets. We're gonna have to hammer the ends over. But that'll fit. Alright, so I bent it a little here with some sheet metal pliers. And a couple little pieces more to cut. But that's a winner. That thing fits. Be weldable. It's gonna seal us up. Gotta make a couple other pieces. Overall, guys, I mean, this is coming out nice. Everything's kind of fitting. You know, does it have to be perfect? No, this is my vehicle. When you guys do sheet metal work, especially if you learn as you go, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do the best you can. It's your car. You know? Don't ever put your stuff out on the internet and ask people what they think. Who cares what they think? It's your car. It only matters what you think. You know, if you did the best you can on it, you should be proud of it. Another cloudy day. Looks like it's going to rain, so I don't know how far we're going to get outside, but this is an extra stand I had for, I think it was a bead roller or something. They sent me one, and they sent me another one because it's missing parts or something. Not super stable, but I have this throatless shear that I bought. It's a Harbor Freight. Now, you got to shim it up to make it like remotely usable. Probably could use another shim. And when you guys have these, even if it's perfectly level, this handle will just fall on you. So what you need to do is grind right here where the stop is, and that way it swings back and it stays back. That way that thing doesn't bonk you in the head. So all I did was drill this into a piece of angle iron, and then I have it C-clamped onto this bracket. I like to also use it in my vise. That way, that's why I haven't actually like affixed it to anything. But what we're gonna do is, I've come to the realization that if I do not finish the inside parts of this where the dash goes, I can't move this thing out of here. And I have so much work to do on all kinds of stuff. You know, I do all kinds of other videos you guys probably don't watch. You know, the second part of the week we do stuff. And it's usually like basic maintenance and stuff like that. We're gonna wipe it all down, wipe the dash out. The dash will have to come back apart piece by piece, but I don't think I gotta take the whole thing out. And I gotta get it in here just so I could drive it. Even if it's just loosely in, like we put the couple at the three at the top, and then we put the supports back in here, and we put the steering column back up and I plug it in just so I can drive it out. Now, when we cut this, we want to cut on the, basically on the line. We want to eat the line on this. So we're going to write top right on that one. I don't even know if you guys can see any of that, but craft time with Dave. That'll probably work. We'll have to trim it down. Let me show you what I'm doing in here. So basically, these are the pieces we cut, and I've been using these flat bill pliers, which I don't know if they're sheet metal pliers or what these are considered. I've had them forever. I use them for everything, and I basically just grab and twist and grab and twist and, you know, help straighten it out. Obviously, you can do it with a hammer. So I got to cut off a little bit more here, right there, and then as I tack this in, that's not a gap I'm scared of. I can tack up all underneath, and then I'll push this in as I go. But I'll obviously tack this part first, so it's affixed to here. That way I have something to push against. So as far as this side goes, that's all done. So basically, like I said, once we start tacking, we can start forcing this in and just tack, tack, tack. You know, we'll do the best we can with it. So what we're gonna do is take all this back out, all these pieces. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces out. I'm taking them all out. And then what we're gonna do is hit them with the DA just to kind of scuff them down, because, you know, I use the actual other side of this, and this is covered in like fire extinguisher powder. And so we're just gonna scuff it up, and we'll just kind of spray it, right? Because I can't get to the back of it now. So we're gonna just throw some paint on it, some like primer paint, whatever the hell I can find. I don't even care. And while the panels are out, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to go around everything so I can scuff where we're going to weld. So we're going to make sure that every spot is clean, and we'll use a cookie or we'll use a flap wheel or something. Good enough to paint it. Sorry about the compressor. That's life. In the big city. Nope, not in the big city. I found this on the shelf. It was pretty empty. It says direct to metal, quick dry. So I just sprayed the backs of these. Actually, you gotta spray that one too. But I'm just trying to protect it. I'm gonna keep templating and cutting while that stuff's drying. Actually, I'm going to tape the inside of the windshield. That's what I'm going to do right now, because we need to protect the windshield, because when you weld, if you splatter on a windshield, you can ruin it. I've ruined a lot of windshields in my day. I've done it with a flap wheel, like angle grinder. You don't want sparks on your windshield, guys. You know, you think, oh, it's glass, it's tough. It's not, and you'll pit it. And those pits don't come out, and you ruin the windshield. This thing already kind of needs a windshield, but I'm not really sure where I would even get that. So, anywho, let's get the windshield taped up or get some cardboard on it. Probably gonna need a respirator, because I don't know what died on my welding blanket. This was folded up in one of my old welding carts. It actually is a fire resistant welding blanket. It smells like something died in it, maybe. I do have like a cat that kind of lives in my barn that I don't feed it. I don't know whose it is, but it's always here. Maybe it pissed in it, or I don't know. This smell is putrid. Hope it's not flammable. All right, we got the Simder fired up. I did one little test tack, and then I waited. I'm very nervous. I shouldn't be. I've actually never had a car with a fire from welding ever. Not ever that I can remember. We got extra precautions. I got a pump sprayer over here. Let me grab a welding helmet. This is not the one I want to use, but it's the one I got, so that's the one we're going to go with. And let's get some tacking done. Just almost decapitated myself. So you guys are on fire watch. All right? Oh God, it smells so bad. Okay. Nothing's burning yet. Yet being the operative word. That's definitely paint. It's fun. Nope, scary. It's absolutely scary. Okay. Okay, we're going very light. That is an awful lot of smoke. Hoping it's paint. Honestly, guys, if it burns this time, we're done with it. And then I'll retire from YouTube. So I think I'm going to start trying to tie in the side pieces now that that's pretty good. All we got to do is play the tacky dance. Super boring for you guys. So I'm going to try to get this thing fit, tack it in, put the other pieces in, tack those in, move to the other side. And guys, it's been a job. This is a lot of work. Just the fitting takes forever. So let's continue. So basically all I'm doing is tacking and then pushing with the hammer to try to get the fitment that I need. I know you guys aren't gonna be able to see a lot of that, but we'll move through it. And I'll try to do the best I can with showing you. Okay. All right. That's pretty good. All right, so now I'm gonna push this in. I got a little bit of a gap there. We're gonna use some seam sealer, that's okay. Okay. All this fits good over here. We might give it a slight tap here just to bring it in, and we're gonna tap it here. I should go get a body hammer. Yeah, that'll be all right. So now we're gonna try to hit it here and then there. Sparks in the dash, that's okay, there's nothing behind there. Minor fire. Now we're going to take our punch, we're going to drive this in so it's flat. Like that. Might have to give it a little push when we're welding it. Can't see anything. We're going blind. I got it. And that's it. Tie it together. I got on super low amps, guys. I think it's like 50 amps. And I backed actually voltage out. You can adjust like, you know, it helps you, but you can take out voltage and speed the wire up if you want, and that's what I did. Blew right through the top of that. That's okay. I like it, guys. Pretty good, right? Not bad, considering it was what I thought was a loss. We gotta give a good push here, get these in. And so on and so forth. All right, well, I would say that this side's kind of tied together, so let's go do the other side. All right, back on the fire side. So, same situation. We got the tech screws to help us a little here, but we still don't have like exact fitment, so we're gonna have to kind of push, prod, and pull. I need a welding helmet. I bought these welding hats. It's supposed to go under your helmet. I bought them for my son because of his long hair, but it's kind of helpful. You gotta just use what you got, boys. A little bit like that, so, right? Probably should do it on the bottom, but maybe we'll make our way down. Super light, guys. Like I said, this thing is actually, I said 50, I think it's set to 62 amps, but I backed it out, so it's like 14 volts. So it's fairly, very low voltage. There we go. Minty fresh. Minty fresh. All right, now, oof, easy on the trigger, Jesse James. We gotta get these pieces in, right? And our piece going this way, this one says right top. And I think it's tapered this way, let me see. Now, this one I bent the top over. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I think what I'm gonna do is tack it down, tack it across, and then kind of just tap it over here. Let me show you. Just tap it down right here, just, you know, after it's tacked here, so it'll hold it, and then it'll tack it on the inside, and then we can just kind of knock it down so it meets, and then we'll just run a little bit of a weld there. Not ideal. Not a problem, boys. That's great. That's fitting better than the other side. Yep. And then I think it's going to be similar to the other side, where we got to kind of bang it in with the punch. I don't know if I can get this with this because I got to lean on it. I think if I turn this thing down, I could run a continuous bead and not warp the hell out of it. There we go. See, that fits way better. We go right there. we meet right to it. Perfect. Seam seal that. All right, guys, so here's where we're at. I'm super happy. I'm trying to dial in that machine so I can just run a solid bead. It's getting there. That Simder machine is super adjustable. I'm gonna get it. I actually got a really decent one up there for sheet. That's for 18 gauge sheet metal, not bad. So basically this is the big part of the job, getting this sealed up. We got the panels for the outside, we got the panels for the top, and then all we got to do is build our, you know, our rockers and then tie in the back. I can feel it. I can feel getting to the end of this project already. I can see it happening. I see the truck already in my head. I see it built. So we're definitely pushing through. We're definitely going to get this dash back in it. Make sure it runs after we get the dash in it. Let's wrap it up. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for this episode of Maginger Customs. I would like to thank Spinorky, if I'm pronouncing that right, sent a little inspirational message, bought 5 coffees on our Buy Us a Coffee link. We really appreciate that. Goes right to the channel. I would like to thank Teslong for sending me the Boroscope so I could see inside the dash, so we knew we had to take the dash out. Simder welders are always, that thing's awesome, you guys. I'll put a link in the description. I don't know if I still get a discount on it or not, but if you do, you add it to the cart, and then the discount will be in the cart. So if you guys want one of those things or any of the Simder stuff. And we're getting there. This is the big part of this. All the rest of it, I think, is super doable. And, you know, I hope this inspires you guys to take on a project that you're not comfortable with. You can do this. You can do this work. A lot of this I'm doing for the first time. And just remember, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.